But also, I know this is something that Carolina Panthers fans are anticipating, and it's actually the 2025 NFL Draft. Because I think Panthers fans were excited about how 2024 season ended, especially that final win against the Atlanta Falcons. You won in overtime. Bryce Young had 5 total touchdowns that he accounted for. Overall, great offensive performance. Defense, the whole season left much to be desired. And I think Panthers fans are starting to realize, hey, you know what? We're building towards something. And there's actually something that Panthers fans can really grasp and put their arms around about the direction the franchise is heading. Is there a long way to go? Yes. But it feels like there's a start of something going in the right direction. Just got to fix that dang defense. Like, plain and simple, got to fix the defense. The worst in the NFL this past year. Based off points scored, which is the most important stat in sports, right? The scoreboard. You gave up the most points in the entire league. Actually, you gave up the most points in a single season in NFL history. I understand there's 17 games, but if you look at per game average, still 5th or 6th worst per game points allowed in NFL history. Yeah, they stunk last year. We all know that. So can you get a game changer on defense at pick number 8? That's what Panthers fans are anticipating. Can you get a defensive game changer that will impact the game in such a way that it will help elevate the play of others? Because if there's a lot of attention focused on this star player or potential star player that you get with the 8th overall pick, that takes a little bit of attention away from others, which may allow them, again, to elevate their level of play. Dangle Jeremiah of the NFL Network put out a mock draft recently, which had the Carolina Panthers taking Jaylen Walker, the linebacker from Georgia. Now, if anyone watched the Super Bowl, which I'm assuming if you're listening to this program, you probably watched the Super Bowl. We all saw how dominant the Philadelphia Eagles defense was. Where's like half their defense from? Georgia. It's like half their defense is from the University of Georgia. They're all Bulldogs. Dan Morgan wants dogs. Go to Georgia and get them. And Dangle Jeremiah, earlier today on a press conference availability that he had, which I was able to sit in and be part of, shared his thoughts on Jaylen Walker.
That's a good discussion, and it's a good debate in the room. I mean, I don't think you want to do it just to get a 4th round pick, but I think if you can, get some quality resources. He's one of my favorite players to study. He's got the versatility to play off the ball, on the ball. I think he's got a chance to be a special pass rusher. I don't know if we're going to see him do everything in Indianapolis. I know he, been nursing some things, but I anticipate when you see him run, if he does decide to run, he can run in the 4.4s. Like, he's got legit explosive burst. He plays with a ton of energy. He's a tone setter. The thing I love about him is, I see he plays with energy and passion. He plays fast. He's physical. And then when you talk to the coaches at Georgia and they say, like, this guy is like rare, off the charts intangibles, leadership. He took over a couple games, that the Texas game at Texas, that was a statement there. So I think he's a lock to go in the top 10.
High praise. The thing that stood out to me, again, outside of what he can do and produce on the field, hearing Dangle Jeremiah say, from coaches and from other people, saying it's the intangibles and leadership that he brings. We have seen in 1 year Dave Canales really put a stamp on the culture that he wants to set. And I'll give a lot of the credit to Dan Morgan as well, because they found the guys that they felt best fit the culture of the team that they want moving forward, not just compiling a group of guys that might have some level of talent. That's what Matt Rule decided to do, and it didn't really work out. Did it? No, it didn't. They tried to do that with Frank Reich, just try and compile a bunch of guys. Didn't work out. You have to have some sort of basis that your team is built on regarding culture in the locker room. So hearing that from Dangle Jeremiah, that got me excited. If this is the person that the Carolina Panthers are selecting. And by all accounts, just because of some of the other top guys and needs that are above them in the draft, picks 1 through 7 by other teams like the Titans and the Browns and so forth, that Walker's probably going to be sitting right there. Myself and Chris Lee from WREL Sports, we host a podcast called Panthers Playbook. We dropped a new episode today, a little bit of a special episode, but we talked to Jordan Reed, ESPN draft analyst and college football analyst from ESPN. When we talked to him about Jaylen Walker, he gave a comp to Frankie Louvu, which I was like, okay, Frankie Louvu, I'm for that. I'm for that. But what about the possibility of trading down? Could the Carolina Panthers move down to the draft, if possible? Daniel Jeremiah shared his thoughts on if the Carolina Panthers could actually trade down from the number 8 pick.
That's a good discussion, and it's a good debate in the room. I mean, I don't think you want to do it just to get a 4th-round pick, but I think if you can, get some quality resources, get another pick on day 2, he's a great player, and I wouldn't have any criticism if they decide we're just going to stick and pick him and go forward. But when you have this many holes, and this is a draft that does have a lot of talent and depth, on the defensive front, I'd be interested in that option. I'm not saying, that's the right or the wrong way to go. I just think, man, there's so many holes there, and you could fill a bunch of them if you could slide back a little bit. So, I think that's a good debate and a good discussion. I could spend 10 minutes and argue it each way. So they just have to see what they get. I definitely think you'd want to get a premium. I don't think you just do that just to go back and get an extra pick.
I like the idea of trading down, depending on obviously what you're going to get in return. You don't want to move down from 8 to 16, where the Cardinals only get a 3rd-round pick in return. Or I'm sorry, a 4th-round pick in return as part of it. I don't think there's good value in that. You're not really gaining a whole lot. But depending on what you're getting in return, I'm okay with that too. But if there's a guy that you feel like can be a franchise changer, at least a game changer for your defense, that's sitting right there at number 8, just take your guy. Just take your guy. Nothing wrong with that either. Just take your guy that comes right down there to you.